So the entire world is going through a pandemic and there's a crazy situation throughout the entire globe. Everyone's in an absolute panic. No one knows what to do. Jon Jones brings us back to reality. Driving under the influence, negligent use of firearms, driving without insurance as well, open container in a vehicle. Just to put the cherry on top, the quadruple whammy, Jon Jones reminds us who Jon Jones is, who the real bad guy of MMA is. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not going to sit here and just shit all over Jon Jones, because there are some positives to this as well, because I'll be honest with you, there have been zero headlines regarding Jon Jones for a very long time. And no one gives a fuck about him versus Blachowicz. So there may be some benefit to Jon Jones being Jon Jones. One thing I do want to mention before we even get to the actual events. Yesterday, I wish I was live when I watched it. Yesterday, Jon Jones put out that inspirational message, or I think it was the day before. And I thought to myself, something's happened. I genuinely thought to myself, I sat here and I watched his message and it was just so nice. From Jon Jones. And you know when you can see through Jon Jones's niceness? You know when he tries to come off as spiritual and you can just tell something's going on. Something's going on. And it did. Something was going on. And he is being arrested, drunk driving, negligent use of firearm. It's just like there couldn't be a more shitty situation for Jon Jones to plant himself in, but he manages to do it yet again. Good old Jon Jones. Craziness, absolute craziness. I don't know why he's gone away and done this. Like he's literally set for life, but you know he's still. We're also on lockdown, so there's no reason for him to be going out drinking. Period. But you know, Jon Jones, who gives us all the information about everyone staying inside. Jon Jones literally made a post, and I'm not joking you here, guys. Jon Jones literally shared a post saying that the human race can save the world by laying in front of the TV and doing nothing. Let's not mess this up. The day after, he's out there doing this. This is just Jon Jones. If I had to write a story, this is like a parody of Jon Jones. Like, this isn't even reality to me right now. I don't even know if I'm awake or not. I'm going to have to pinch myself a couple times because I don't believe this. This is literally like, you cannot get more hilarious than this. There can't be more of a parody of Jon Jones. He comes out being motivational 2 days before. Then the day after, he talks about no one going outside and staying on lockdown. And then he's arrested for negligent use of firearms, drunk driving, without insurance. It's just bonkers. It really is. But that's just Jon Jones being Jon Jones. This is kind of why I like Jon Jones, to be honest with you. I like this. I wish Jon Jones would do this more. Well, I don't wish Jon Jones would drunk drive more often, but I wish Jon Jones would get into a few bits of trouble. I wish it wasn't Mike Perry KOing the guy in the street. I wish it was Jon Jones doing something like that. Let's say Jon Jones slapped a security guard and the security guard bitched out and did nothing. That's the headlines I want to see from Jon Jones. The only issue is, there are crimes you can get away with in the public image. You know, like you slap someone, first of all, make sure he's not an elderly citizen. Conor McGregor learned from that very carefully. If you're going to slap someone, go ahead, slap someone in the street. If someone's going to harass you and you want to get into a bit of an argument and create a situation and knock him out, go ahead, do that shit. But when you're driving, whilst you're tweeting about you seeing too many kids out on the streets, in playgrounds, we need to be more creative. You're driving under the influence of alcohol. It's worrying, man. It just is. Like, there's got to be something missing in Jon Jones's life. There has to be. Whether it's a tiny penis, I don't want to go into that kind of stuff, but it's just like there has to be something just missing from Jon Jones's life, because you cannot have it all and still just need to do that one extra. He could have got an Uber home. He probably could have walked. It probably wasn't that big of a journey anyway. He went out for a night out in the town. He didn't have to get behind the wheel. He got behind the wheel with a firearm without insurance. It's like, basically, Jon Jones woke up today and he said to himself, you know what? I feel like messing my career up entirely. And he just put it all together. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out. I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to drive home drunk. Then I'm going to leave a firearm in my vehicle, and for some reason gunshots are heard. I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to admit that I'm drunk to the police officers, so that before I fail the breathalyzer test, they aren't so shocked when it comes up that he has twice the legal limits in his system. So this isn't like Like, when I hear drunk driving offences, there's very different ones. Like, there can be some where you've had a bit of a drink and you're barely over the limit and they catch you. Or you're on the limit and they catch you and you're like, ah, fuck, I thought you'd be out of my system by now. I don't feel drunk. Jon Jones admitted he was drunk. And he... I don't know. It's just a weird situation. I feel like this is... Someone has taken over Jon Jones's body. Oh my God. DC has taken over Jon Jones's body and he's trying to run Jones's career into the ground. It's just madness every single day with Jon Jones. And I'm going to review through some of these statements that were made. I mean, it was just... He later took a breathalyzer test and results returned at or above twice the legal limit. Twice the legal limit. It's mad. Jones submitted sobriety tests and performed poorly on all of them. After Jones was arrested, a black handgun was... Why does it matter what colour the handgun is? Fucking Americans and their racism. Jesus Christ. Always with the black and the white with these fucking Americans. Fine, I'll play along. A black handgun was found underneath the driver's seat, along with a bottle of Requito behind the passenger seat. It's just... There's no way. He didn't need to take the bottle of alcohol back home with him. He could have just had a drink at a pub, but no, it's in the car. Behind the passenger seat. By the way, you know that bottle of alcohol was in his lap. You know it was. Before the police pulled him over, that was in his lap. He was drinking it on the go. 100% he was. There's no way you just, oh yes, I'll just put my alcohol behind the passenger seat. Of course, my most trustworthy place to put a bottle of alcohol. Ah, not in the boot or the trunk, as you Americans would say. No, I'll put it behind the passenger seat, nice and hidden. 100%. It's just absolute. It's got Jones written all over it. Into this incident, our gun violence reduction unit will test a firearm and a bullet casing to determine whether the gun has been used in any crimes. First of all, if that has been used in any crimes, Jon Jones is fucked. Like, that is actually... He actually could get fucked here. If this, I don't think that Jones has been out shooting people. I really don't. I think he got caught in a very vulnerable situation where he was drunk. He just happened to have the firearm there underneath the driver's seat, which, to be fair, is a very normal place. I know America is different to the UK and you guys are allowed to have guns out and allowed to own guns. So under the driver's seat, I understand. If it was on the passenger seat, I'd worry about Jon Jones because that seems like you're ready for a shootout in my opinion. But if it's under the driver's seat, I don't mind that shit. It's under the driver's seat. It's America. I get it. You guys have guns. I'm not going to shit on you. But either way, it's just worrying to me. But you know what? Jones makes the headlines when he doesn't have any fucking opponents. Maybe this is good for Jon Jones. Maybe we can build up some kind of next comeback. How many more comebacks is Jones going to have to do in his life before he realises to just not fuck things up in the first place? I don't know. I really don't know. It is a strange situation. Reducing gun violence in Albuquerque is our top priority. Jesus Christ, that is a shit name. I know it's Albuquerque, by the way. But that is a shit name of a place. No offence, by the way. Patrick said prosecutors were working with local law enforcement. I don't give a fuck about any of this information. It is just tough. Back in 2012, Jones was arrested for driving under the influence after crashing his Bentley Continental GT into a pole in Binghamton, New York. It's just tough to get involved in a hit-and-run incident in Albuquerque after he ran through a red light and crashed into two different vehicles before fleeing the scene. It's just worrying. It just is worrying, the mindset of Jon Jones. But I almost feel like, don't get me wrong, he's back. Am I wrong? Jon Jones is back. This is Jon Jones. You know, he's going to come back with a vengeance. He's got some of that prison anger. He's probably spent the night in the cells. That's going to rile himself up a little bit, remind him what he used to go through back in the day, and then he's going to get back out, and he's going to get back into fucking training. I just think it's just crazy. The entire situation is just a bit mad. And the fighters' reactions to it, by the way, are just hilarious. I love every single one of them. I mean, Colby Covington wins. He wins the entire outcry of people. Colby Covington's tweet was this: "So there's no need to panic, the world's still perfectly normal." It's just the best comment. I know Dominic Reyes says this is so unbelievable, it's almost laughable. Same old John, some champ, sad. It's just kind of like, okay, we get it, dude. This is like Paulo Costa jumping on Israel Adesanya just to side with the fans a little bit. You know, I get it. Ben Askren, for the life of me, I can't figure out why he doesn't hire a buddy and pay him $50K a year to be his driver. It makes so much sense. Not even $50K to be a driver. Pay him $30K. You know? Just $30K. $40K. Something like that. Just drive me around. You don't have to drive. You don't have to drunk drive, man. You know? Seems totally out of character. I won't believe it, someone said. Jesus Christ. This guy again, Gilbert Burns. Wow, guess what? Nothing gonna happen again. What a shame. Gilbert Burns also said he'd move up to 205 to teach Jon Jones a lesson, but Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. It is an absolute shame. Also, the mugshot of Jon Jones says he's 6'6". I'm guessing he's got heels on. Like, really big heels, because to add 2 inches to your height with a pair of shoes, that's something different. So I don't know what's going on there. This kind of proves the theory that Anthony Smith was saying about Jon Jones changing his height every single time they face off against each other, because, 6'6". I don't know what shoes are going to add that much height to you, but either way, it's just a bit mad. It's just a bit crazy. I don't think people should be piling on saying, like, this guy's an absolute criminal. But one thing I do want to say about Americans, not Americans, but rich Americans, they seem to have this mindset of, like, I'm going to be okay to drink drive. And I don't know if it's just me that's noticed this, but on the Joe Rogan Experience especially, and comedians, all of that, that's kind of my only way into American culture, is through the Joe Rogans, that sort of circle of people. Brendan Schaub's, that kind of stuff. I fucking hate to even say his name, but either way, they seem to talk so openly about drunk driving, and I've never understood it. Like, you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna get caught drunk driving. That's just how it works. First Alex Jones, now Jon Jones. Oh my god, Alex Jones and Jon Jones get caught drunk driving in the same fucking month. It has to be linked. It has to be linked. There's no way 2 Joneses can go down like that. 2 of the best Joneses in the fucking world, Alex Jones and Jon Jones, within the same month, drunk driving incidents. I mean, with Jon Jones, it's kind of, it's Jon Jones season again. This is just like, I see 2012, Jon Jones gets arrested for drunk driving. I see 2015, Jon Jones gets arrested for drunk driving. Seems to be a pretty simple cycle for Jon Jones, Lockdown's pretty boring. I need to go out with an open firearm and drive with my gun. I don't know what to say about it, to be honest with you, but I'm kind of happy because it's something to talk about, I guess. And Jon Jones, he looks smug in his mugshot, I think that's something that just Jon Jones would pull off, but he just seems like he's okay, It's just a strange situation overall, man. This whole thing is just strange. And I've never understood the whole Joe Rogan talking about, I just had a drink and I was driving, I smoked weed and I was driving. Like, Jesus, man, there's kids on the road. Like, people walk across. I know maybe it's different in America because you can't just walk across the road. It's a crime. You can't jaywalk. I think it's called jaywalk, one of those two terms. But in England, like, you can walk across the centre of the road. Like, you don't need to wait for a crossing. So I guess maybe the rules are a little bit different, but still, man, just get an Uber. Like, it's got the £7 Uber or the $10 Uber that you're going to get back home. It's got to be worth more than this. Which is why I think that Jon Jones maybe intentionally did this. I don't know. Maybe he was hoping to get caught because there's no one's talking about Jon Jones right now, and he just broke the entire internet of MMA world. He just broke it. The only topic today is Jon Jones. No one was talking about him yesterday. No one was talking about him the day before. No one was talking about him last week. No one was talking about him the day after the Dominic Reyes fight, other than what a robbery it was. Jon Jones in the headlines. Jan Blachowicz said, "Wow, Jon, you didn't have to go to prison to avoid fighting me." Pretty cool sentence as well. It was just a strange situation, Just a weird one. I don't know why Jon Jones does these things, but Jon Jones. It's Jon Jones. You just got to accept him for who he is. And his fans will continue to defend him. That's the funniest thing about this all. That's the funniest thing, because this is why Jon Jones fans might be the most autistic of the sport. Because they will literally stand by his side and say, "We know you didn't do it, Jon. Don't listen to them haters." We're not haters. We just don't want to get hit by a fucking rampaging psychopath behind his wheel with a bottle of drink in his lap and a gun under his seat. I think that's pretty reasonable to criticise him for. But, maybe we're just hating on him. We're just hating on the champ because he's so high above us. We're just hating on him. He just one of them situations. We're such haters that we don't even let him get away with drunk driving with a fucking gun in the car. It's just strange. I don't know what it is with Jon Jones, but yeah, I hope he works whatever it is out. You got a wife and kid, Jon. You got a wife and kids. Start fucking acting like it, you know? Well done, you made headlines, but start fucking acting like you have a wife and kids. Because you have lots of kids, lots of daughters that you talk about, and it was just a perfect recipe. I feel like Jon knew this was going to happen, because he set it up with all this nice stuff. That whole long conversation about do the right thing, we got to be strong during this time. I almost could tell just by seeing his social feed that something bad's going to happen to Jon Jones. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Jon Jones. Jon DUI Jones. Back at it again. Click that button there. See you later. Goodbye.